Hey everyone, Chris here and welcome to my channel. As you can see by my setup, it's time to play Phase 10 Chooses my TBR. So here we are again. It is that time of the month and time to pick out August's TBR. I will say this is another one I'm filming a bit early due to temperature. It has been really hot in July so far, and we had a few cool days where I didn't need fans or air conditioners on, so I went, well, I guess I'm filming my TBR early again. So with that being said, at the moment, I'm not planning on taking part in any readathons. I haven't seen any that interest me, though that could obviously change because there is still a little over a week to go in the month, and you never know what might come across my radar. There are a lot of readathons I have found at the last minute, so we'll see. But as of right now, I'm not planning on taking part in any. I am, however, still doing the Buzz Wordathon Challenge. In the month of August, we need to read a book with in the title for the Buzz Wordathon prompt. So I'm going to read Brewed with Love by Shelley Page. This is a queer YA romance that looked really interesting. And then for the Buzz cover prompt, we needed to read a book with some sort of transportation on the title. So I'm going to read The Last of August because we have a train right here. And actually, there's more of the train here. So we can see a form of transportation on this cover. This is the second book in the Sherlock Holmes series. This is a YA mystery series that is based on Sherlock Holmes, and we're following Sherlock and Watson's, I think, descendants. I don't think they're like grandkids or anything like that. I'm not exactly sure how they're related to Sherlock and Watson, but they absolutely are. So I'm looking forward to getting back with Jamie and Charlotte and seeing what they get up to in this one. Then I have my queer book club pick. I host a queer book club, if you don't know, and every other month we pick a book to read, and the winner of this month's poll was Last Call at the Nightingale. This is a historical mystery, and I've read Catherine Applegate's other series, the Lily Adler series, and really enjoyed it. And I'm quite looking forward to diving into this one. So this is our queer book club pick. If you'd like to come join us, my Discord is linked below where we'll be having a discussion on it all throughout the month of August as we read. And at some point during the month of August, I will be on Sprints reading this book live. So if you want to catch my live reactions to this, be sure to join my Discord because I let everybody know in the Discord when I'm going to be sprinting. So very excited to dive into this one as well. That brings me to my nonfiction pick of the month. And this month I'm going with Tender at the Bone by Ruth Reichel. And let me see, there was a line. I found this in a little free library, and there was a specific line in the back that made me want to read this. Beginning with Reichel's mother, the notorious food poisoner known as the Queen of Mold, Reichel introduces us to the fascinating characters who shaped her world and her tastes. I'm very, very curious about her mother. Very curious to see how that influenced her and her story. So hopefully I will enjoy this one, and it gets one of my 2021 haul books off of my TBR. I've been trying to make it a point to fit them on where I can. And that brings me to my TBR jar. And y'all are going to be excited. Look how empty it is. Look at that. I have room to shake it and flip them around. I should not be getting papers on the floor. I'm so excited. I finally went through this and cleared it out. So let's see. I should not be pulling out any series I can't read unless for some reason I can't get them. So that's exciting. And we have an orange one for our first one. A purple one for our second one. And a purple one for our third one. No reds this month. Exciting. Let's see. Our first series is Mary Russell and Sherlock Holmes. Apparently, it's going to be the month of Sherlock Holmes retellings. So we're off to a brilliant start. You remember when I told you there were no pieces of paper in here that shouldn't be in this jar? Well, this is because I DNF'd the series. Oops. Let's try this again. We've got a green one this time. This one I can definitely do. The House at the Edge of Magic by Amy Sparks. The second book in this series is The Tower at the End of Time. In the first book, we're following an orphan named Nine who pickpockets this lady and ends up taking a trinket that grows into a house, and there are people trapped in the house, and she has to help them get out. So I'm going to assume that in this one, we're continuing to follow Nine and seeing what she gets up to, and that it might involve a tower at the end of time. Series number 2 is an easy one. The Secret Rescuers. Let me see which book I'm on. The next book in this series is The Magic Fox. These are cute little chapter books for like 6 to 8 year olds that follow these group of kids who are trying to protect magical animals from the kingdom who wants to harm them. I've really enjoyed the series. They're cute, easy, fun reads, and I am definitely down to continue the series. It was exactly the type of series I needed to come out of my jar, so I'm expecting this one to be like Robin Hobb. Interesting. Not Robin Hobb. Howl's Moving Castle. So, I do want to continue this series. And in doing so, I want to reread Howl's Moving Castle because I remember whenever I read it, I felt like I tried to rush through it. I didn't give it the time and attention it deserved. I think I was listening to the audiobook and trying to listen to the audiobook as fast as I could because I needed to finish it for like a readathon or a TBR or something. And I believe if you watch the vlog where I read that, I said, I'm not sure I gave this a fair shot because I think, like I said, I listened to the audiobook and I wasn't paying attention and I needed to be physically reading along. And I said, I think I want to come back to this and try this again at some point. So this is that some point. So in the month of August, I will be giving Howl's Moving Castle another try. So that will round out the 3 series that I need to continue in August. And Howl's Moving Castle and The Secret Rescuers can go back in my TBR jar. The House of Magic, is that what it's called, by Amy Sparks, that series. I believe the 3rd book comes out maybe in September, but I'm not sure, so we'll figure out if I want to put that back in for September. It's September, October, and I can't remember which. So if it comes out in September, I'll put it back in for September, and if not, then I'll wait till October. So we'll keep that out for now. And this can be thrown away because I DNF'd that series, and I can put the lid back on and put this away for a month. That brings me to this. So, as of right now, I feel confident that I'm going to finish my TBR. I still have, I want to say like 6 of the books that I need to read. But I'm partway through 1. I have the audiobooks out for 2 of the others, so I will be listening to them, like, they will go back before the end of July. So I will be listening to them. And then one of the others is like Silverborn, so I'm not worried at all. So we're going to take a reward, and our reward is going to be on Space. Green 11. And we'll mix these up. I will have more rewards next month because I actually used a few last month. And we'll go with this one. So the green 11 is going to come down and be replaced with a reward. And we'll slide whatever this prompt was back in the deck and mix them up a little bit just because it could come back out. Maybe I'm supposed to read that prompt and I just don't know it. And then we'll take the green 11 and slide that back in the deck. And we will shuffle these real quick so that I have a shot at getting the green 11. Though I really want just a 6 or 7. Any 6 or 7 I like. Because then I would get to put one of the last 2 rewards on the board. Which would be fun. And I would get to complete my phase. I'll give this one more shuffle like this. And then so you can see, I am indeed shuffling the cards. And flipping them over, which is always good. I'm much better at shuffling the other way than this way. Okay. So now I have a bunch of rewards. I have remove a book from my TBR. I have combine. No, I used my combined 2 prompts, didn't I? I did. See? I used so many prompts last month, I even forgot. But I just remembered. Luckily, I remembered. Somebody I'm sure would have caught me. I have Avoid a Wild, because I only got 1 last month. I don't believe I avoided 1. No punishments next month. And at the end of my TBR, I can drop my lowest rated book. So they're here if I need them. I don't obviously need the no punishment rewards because I'm going to finish my TBR and I've taken a reward. So I think that's everything before I dive in. So let's go in to draw number 1. This is not a 7 or a 6. This poor thing. I really need to get rid of this because they don't like to stick to this bit, so they fall all the time. Let's see. Blue 10. The prompt for Blue 10 is dictionary.com. Not what I wanted. So if you don't know, dictionary.com means to go to dictionary.com, find the word of the day on there, and then use that word to somehow tie in to whatever book you choose. Today's word of the day is exculpatory, which means tending to clear from a charge of fault or guilt. Oh, I'm in trouble, aren't I? I'm trying to think of like a thriller I have where somebody might be trying to clear their name or is falsely accused of a crime. Let me go see. The first in a cozy mystery series might work for this. Well, I wasn't sure I was going to be able to find something for that. That was a lot harder than I thought. I'll put the time up on the screen as to how long it took me to find a book that even remotely sounded like it could have anything to do with the word exculpatory. I ended up going with A +1 for Murder. This is the first book in a cozy mystery series. It says, Emma Westlake has always wanted to be her own boss, but after sinking all her cash into a business that went belly up, Emma finds herself in a penniless pickle. Dottie Adler, Emma's elderly tea-time companion, suggests she try to get paid for doing something she's really good at, being a friend. Emma thinks it's a crazy idea until requests start pouring in. Big Max, an eccentric local, wants her to act as his wingwoman at the local senior center's upcoming dance. Nurse practitioner Stephanie needs a workout partner, and writer Brian Hill asks Emma to be his cheering section at an open mic night. Brian will be reading from his latest work and wants to know someone will clap for him when he's done. He tells Emma that the room will be filled with people he's invited, 4 of whom would like to kill him. Emma is confident he's joking, but when Brian steps up to the mic and promptly drops dead, she's not so sure anymore. As one of the last people to see him alive, Emma finds herself on a handsome cop's radar. Now she'll have to cozy up to a killer to save her skin and her brand new career. I was looking through my list on Storygraph, and they have the line where she becomes an immediate suspect because she is the last person to see him. So the description is worded a little bit differently on there, but I think the fact that she was one of the last people to see him and is becoming a potential suspect means she's going to need to find exculpatory evidence to prove she didn't do it. So I think this is as close as I'm going to get, so we're going to be reading this for the first book I've put in on my August TBR. We'll replace that with this and go to draw number 2. And there's my 7, so I've just completed my phase. Which means I will definitely be taking this green 8. Let's take care of this first. The green 8 is LGBTQ plus rap. Well, that's easy. I'm going to read Last Call at the Nightingale because it is my queer book club pick. So there's LGBTQ plus rap in it. This is a historical mystery that has some sort of queer rep. I believe our main character, it says she flirts with men or women in these bars that she visits. So it looks like gender is not an issue for her. So very excited to get to this one. And it allows me to put a obligation read on my TBR, which is always good. So we'll replace that with this. This card is going to be where our reward goes. Oh, no. No. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say that since I finished my phase, I don't remember what I do here. It's been a while since I finished a phase. That I can put this prompt wherever I want it. I can just pick. You'd think I would know because I had to make a note of all of the cards that were no longer in the deck. But next month, they're all going to be in the deck. Interesting. I'm feeling yellow 4. Don't ask me why. And we'll take this one. I don't need the cards. I didn't take any cards. We're going to slide this back in case, again, it is one I'm supposed to use this month. Though I shudder to think of a prompt that would be as hard as dictionary.com. That might be the longest I've ever had to search for a book and try to find one that fits the prompt I pulled. Okay. So that means we can go to draw number 3, which is a red 3, and I no longer need to worry about putting books over there. So red 3 gets me TBR Vet. So for TBR Vet, I think I'll go with Tender at the Bone by Ruth Reichel. This has been on my TBR since 2021. I don't think any books that have been on my TBR from before that. So this is one of the oldest books I have. Makes sense to stick it on there since I'm going to be reading it anyways. We're trying to get all those obligation reads on because I'm still catching up from, my very bloated June TBR and then my very slow July that I've had. So let's replace that with this and go to draw number 4. Green 10. Oh, so close. The prompt for green 10 is friend pick. So I think I'm going to ask my friend Omi to pick a book for me. They know my reading taste pretty well at this point. They know books I own, don't own, books I want to read, stuff like that. So here is what Omi picked for me. I have no idea what it is. It is currently 2 o'clock in the morning, so I'm pretty sure Omi is sleeping like a normal person would be at this hour. And so I will message them when I get done filming and ask them to pick a book for friend pick for my TBR. So hopefully they pick me something that I'm really excited about. We'll replace that with this and go to drawer number 5. And there is my reward. This could be stop TBR, just so y'all know. And I would be overjoyed. You have no idea. And we have Watch 4 Hours of Blood on the Clock Tower. That's not stop TBR, but I'm going to do that either way. So I'd much rather have it instead of a book, because then I don't feel guilty looking at the stack of books I need to read and going, well, I mean, I should be reading, but I really want to watch this episode of Blood on the Clock Tower. So very happy with that reward. We'll replace that with this. And based on that, one of these 3 is stop TBR. I don't know which one though. So it's interesting. We'll go with draw number 6, which is a blue one. I'm not going to find out on this poll anyways. The prompt for blue 1 is to read a book from an old favorite author. So for this, I'm going to go with something a little different. And I'm going to pick Explorers at Pirate Island by Alex Bell. Now, normally, I pick an Aaron Hunter to go here. And I could, because I am doing a buddy read with Omi. But it is possible that book is already on my TBR. So, since I don't have a Rick Riordan book to read, and I feel like I've recently gotten that and used Catherine Applegate, I thought I would switch it up and go with Alex Bell. This is the 5th book in the Explorers Club series. I've read the first 4. Gave the first 3, I believe, 5 stars, and the second one like 4.5. And I've also read, I'm looking at my bookcase, The Train of Dark Wonders and... I can't read that from here. The Light and the Way It's Hitting the Spine. It's something Race of Magical Beasts. The Glorious Race of Magical Beasts or something like that. But I've read 6 books of Alex Bell's and really love them. And Alex Bell is just an auto-buy author for me at this point. I think they count as an old favorite author. So we're going to go with this one for this prompt and continue the series. We'll replace that with this and go to draw number 7, which is a red 7. And I no longer need 7s. The prompt for red 7. Food or drink on the cover. So this was another one that was surprisingly difficult and took me a good chunk of time, but I'm going to go with Paris Dalincourt is About to Crumble, because that's cake, and cake is food. This is the 2nd book in the Winter Bakes All series. I think it came out of my TBR jar, and I realized that I wasn't going to be able to read it unless I bought it. And Barnes & Noble did a buy one, get one 50% off romance sale. And so I bought 4 queer romances, and this was one of them. This, like the first one, is going to follow a contestant on a baking show. It's called Bake Expectations. And Paris got entered by his friends and is sure he's going to be the first one sent home. But apparently he's not only going to compete, but win the first challenge and meet fellow contestant Tariq Hassan. And apparently they're going to form a connection despite the fact that they're competition. And it looks like Paris is dealing with self-doubt and anxiety, and that is going to play a role in the way things play out for him. So hoping I enjoy this as much as the first one. I believe I gave the first one a high 3.75 stars. So fingers crossed that I enjoy this one as well. We'll replace that with this and go to draw number 8, which is a blue 9. I can't believe we're only on draw number 8. It feels like I've been filming forever, but it's because I've gotten 2 prompts that I really had to think about. Blue 9. Color wheel. Okay, we've pulled up a random color generator, and I'm going to click generate random color, and whatever color that is, I need to try to match. A granite gray. Granite gray. So for this, I'm going to read Library of Souls. I think there's probably some granite gray in there because this is the predominantly black and white cover. So I think it matches. This is the third book in the Miss Peregrine's series. I wouldn't say this is a new favorite series, but I have found the premise intriguing. And the last one left on a pretty big cliffhanger, so I'm actually really excited to get to book 3 in August. We'll replace that with this and go for... I was worried there for a second that these were all going to fall down behind because it got shifted. It's already done that once tonight. We're going to go now for draw number 9. There it is. There it is. Of course, there it is. Let's try draw number 9 again. We've got a red 4. The prompt for red 4 is a thriller / mystery. So for thriller or mystery, I'm going to read The Last of August. This is obviously my Buzz cover prompt. It's a book I'm going to get to anyways, and there is definitely going to be some sort of mystery aspect. It looks like Charlotte's uncle is going to go missing, and so Charlotte is going to be looking into the mystery of what happened to her uncle. So very, very excited to dive back into the series. We'll replace that with this and get into our last regular draw. Draw number 10 is A3. The prompt for yellow 3 is from Vanessa, and it is the book has to have the same number of chapters as the last book I read. Okay, this one's going to take a second. So, my last book was Part of Your World. This is the last book I finished. And this book has, I believe I counted 37 chapters and an epilogue. That was the epilogue. I'm just double checking. Yes. So I have two options. Spellbinders, the not so chosen one, has 36 chapters. I just want to make sure. Yes, 36 chapters. We have 36 here. And then New Dragon City has 39. So this has 36 and not 37 in an epilogue. And this has 39. So if we counted the epilogue as a chapter, that would be 38. So I think 39 is closest. So we're going to go with New Dragon City. I've read something else by Mari Mancusi. And of course, there's not a book list in here. I'm not sure what, though. But I've definitely read other books by this author and enjoyed... Oh, the Camelot Code. There we go. It's on the back. And enjoyed them. And this one has dragons. And it says, no one predicted the dragon apocalypse. So this looks quite interesting. I do like me a good dragon book. So we're going to go with this one because it's closest. I might have one that's like spot on, but I'm not going through all of my books, and some of my books that I would like to read are ebooks, which would be really hard to look at right now, or I don't actually have the physical copy yet, so we're going to go with this one. And we'll replace that with this. And now to deal with that. I still have plenty of books that I want to get to. I'm not going to use my Void of Wild right now, especially when I have my no punishments. So let's see. And of course, I got a 6. I may eat these words. Let's go for Wild 1, Draw 1, which is a blue 8. I will say if I get another Wild, I will be voiding it. So blue 8 is a historical fiction. This is easy for historical fiction. I'm going to read Ashes. This is the third and final book in the Seeds of America trilogy. I'm currently in the middle of book 2 right now and enjoying it. This takes place in the American Revolutionary War, and we're following some slaves. I've really enjoyed the first 2 books, or the first 1.5, because I'm a little over halfway through the second one. So there's no way I'm not going to be reading book 3 in the month of August. We'll replace that with this and go to Wild 1, Draw 2, which is a red 2. I'm going to be really mad if this is my stop TBR prompt. Like, really mad. No, it is watch 4 hours of streaming. I can do that. So instead of reading a book here, I need to watch 4 hours of streaming, which means one of these 2 is my stop TBR. So I would prefer not to get a yellow 4 because, well, at this point, I don't want to stop my TBR. That does not help me any. I want to stop it when it's early, you know? So we'll replace that and go into Wild 1, Draw 3, which is enough. I shouldn't have put that prompt up on the board. It's not staying there. Let's see. Red 2. Wordle Word. Obviously, I haven't played Wordle yet today, and I think this is the last time I'm going to do this because I don't really want to support the New York Times. So I'll be not putting this prompt back in, but we'll do it for this one. Just give me a second. So today's Wordle word is water. I can work with that. Water is an easy one. I'm going to read Going Overboard because, as you can see, this character here is jumping into a pool full of water. I've enjoyed the other books I've read by Carolyn Huntoon, and I have really high hopes for this one, so very, very excited to get to read it. We'll replace that with this. Go for Wild 1, draw 4, which is a green 2. The prompt for green 2 is audio or ebook. For this, I'm going to read Murder at Rochester Park. This is the next book in the Tommy and Evelyn Christie series, which I have been reading via, I believe, Kindle Unlimited or the library, one or t'other. But I've been reading the ebooks for these, and it's a historical mystery series that I've enjoyed. It's not my favorite, but they're easy, quick reads, and I'm curious to see where we go in this one. We'll replace that with this and go to Wild 1, draw 5, which is a green 1. The prompt for green 1, multiple people on the cover. I think I'll stick the Tower at the End of Time on here because we have a person here and a person here and a person there and what looks to be a person there, at least one of the characters there. So there's definitely multiple people on this cover, and it will ensure that I actually get to one of my TBR jar picks. We'll replace that with this and go into what is hopefully, well, definitely, because I have Avoid a Wild, our final draw, Wild 1, draw 6. And it is a yellow 11. Thankfully, it is not a yellow 4, because that would be really sad to get a stop TBR prompt at the very end. The prompt for yellow 11 is to do a reread. I'm going to reread Howl's Moving Castle. I was almost like, oh no, I wasn't planning on a reread. Was I? Was there anything I was reading? And then I was like, oh right. One of my TBR jar picks was a reread. Perfect. So yes, I will be rereading Howl's Moving Castle for this. And I will replace that with this. I don't know why, because when I do this, I take all of the prompts off the board and redo them. So I didn't really need to replace that. This one will stay. This one will stay. Everything else will get replaced because I get to start back with phase 1, which is exciting. So there you have it. That is my TBR. This has been a very, very long video. I don't even want to know what the runtime on the raw footage of this is. I've got a few reward prompts because I can watch some Blood on the Clock Tower and I can watch some streaming, which should be interesting. I don't know what I'm going to do for that yet. So we shall see. I have quite the eclectic stack of books. And of course, I have my friend pick from Omi that I don't even know what that is yet. So that will also be interesting. Anywho, I'm going to wrap up this TBR because, again, editing Chris is probably going, okay, get a move on. This is long enough. So thank you all for joining me for my TBR game for August. Let me know in the comment section below a book you're hoping to get to in August. All of my social media is linked in the description below if you'd like to come chat with me. If you've made it this far in the video, leave me celebratory emojis because I finally get to get rid of this board and not have to deal with prompts falling off and cards falling off all of the time. Like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!